Children aged between 6 and 9 years in the Philippines' capital, Manila, have now returned to school for the first time after nearly 2 years of online classes as part of a pilot scheme to resume face-to-face learning. Inside the classroom, desks fitted with plastic barriers were spaced more than 1 meter apart, and classes were limited to a maximum of 15 students to ensure that social distancing could be followed. Students and teachers were also required to wear face masks during the half-day classes. Chilean authorities have now started rolling out a vaccination campaign against the coronavirus for children between the ages of 3 and 5. Children were vaccinated with the Sinovac vaccine. The vaccine process started 12 days after the inoculation of minors, which was approved by Chile's Public Health Institute. Children who are immunocompromised or who have underlying diseases are to receive their vaccine before it is circulated to the broader group. Travellers heading to the US will be required to show evidence of a negative COVID-19 report within 1 day of boarding their flights. The new measures aimed at limiting the spread of the Omicron variant. Previously, fully vaccinated passengers had up to 3 days before their United States-bound flight to get tested. The Biden administration will also extend the federal rule requiring passengers on planes, trains and buses to wear face masks through March 18th. The rule was supposed to end early next month, but now has been extended to curb the spread of the new variant. New York's Mayor Bill de Blasio has now announced a blanket COVID-19 vaccine mandate for the private sector in the United States' biggest city, starting from late December. Blasio on Monday issued a vaccine order mandating that all private sector employees in the Big Apple to be vaccinated against COVID-19 before December 27th. The order goes further than a nationwide mandate set by President Biden for companies with more than 100 employees to vaccinate their workers by January 4th. Now, that has been stalled so far by court suspensions. The move comes as cases are yet again climbing in the United States, and the new Omicron variant is leading to a surge in New York and elsewhere around the country.
Thank you so much.
The French government has expressed concerns over a new wave of COVID-19 that has engulfed large parts of the country, introducing limited new restrictions that will see the temporary closure of nightclubs. France's nightclubs will have to close their doors on Friday for 4 weeks. Prime Minister Jean Castex also announced that primary school students would have to wear face masks at recess and between classes to help prevent the spread of the virus. Meanwhile, from December 15th, children aged 5 to 11 with underlying medical conditions will have access to COVID-19 vaccines before the procedure is extended to the entire age group. The Copacabana beach, which has been Rio's most iconic views and is known for its New Year's Eve celebrations, will this year wear a deserted look after the cancellation of celebrations due to the new Omicron variant. However, tourism authorities are now hoping that people will still come to take part in controlled private parties at beachfront hotels. And in a bid to do so, the city's tourist businesses and government sectors have been meeting and coordinating their efforts. Meanwhile, an arts cultural centre in the city has issued 940,000 pieces to depict Rio's tourist attractions. Italy, meanwhile, has introduced tougher restrictions for unvaccinated people amid a concern over the Omicron variant and a potential spike in infections. Many public activities will be off limits to anyone without a so-called COVID green pass. Under the new rules, people who are unvaccinated against COVID-19 can no longer go to the theatre, cinemas, live music venues or major sporting events. Only those who have recently recovered from COVID-19 are exempt from these rules, which represent a significant tightening of restrictions in the face of rising infections. New measures are also being enforced on public transport modes. The staff at one of the largest COVID-19 vaccine centres in Bucharest, Romania, have now built a 3-metre tall Christmas tree out of the empty vaccine containers. The tree and present boxes are illuminated by coloured LEDs, some of which are placed inside the 19,000 empty vaccine containers used. The idea of building the Christmas tree at the centre, where 200,000 people have been vaccinated so far, came up when it opened in March. Staff collected the containers and started building the tree early in November this year outside working hours to complete the same. New Zealand has announced that it will not send any diplomatic representatives at a ministerial level to the Beijing Winter Olympics in February due to the COVID crisis. Kiwi athletes will participate in the Olympics, but officials will stay at home. The Deputy Prime Minister Grant Robertson said that the move was motivated by a range of factors, mainly due to COVID-19, but also stressed on the degrading human rights conditions in the country. The comments come after the US said that it would not send government officials to the 2022 Winter Games due to China's human rights atrocities. The US will stage a diplomatic boycott of the upcoming Winter Olympics in Beijing to protest Chinese human rights abuses, a move that China has vowed to greet with firm countermeasures. The White House press secretary Jen Psaki has said that the US athletes will continue to compete, but the US will not be contributing to the fanfare of the Games. Biden this week will host a White House Summit for Democracy, a virtual gathering of leaders and civil society experts from more than 100 countries. The administration has said that Biden intends to use this summit as a platform to announce both individual and collective commitments to defend democracy and human rights at home and abroad.